Bert Allan here. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. We're talking more High Heat in theaters and on digital and on demand December 16th with one of the stars, Kaitlin Doubleday, formerly known as Rhonda Lion on Empire, and just a whole smearing of wonderful projects. Thank you for your time today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, let's talk about this fun film. You've played a lot of great characters in your career. This one definitely is up there as far as high action, high impact. Let's talk about this. What interested you in the project and made you decide that you wanted to commit your time to it as an actor and storyteller?
I read the script and I thought that Mimi and her husband's relationship was so hilarious, and it was like this action thriller, and then it had this other movie set in the movie. It felt like it was like they were like the comedic relief. I think Chris Dimitopoulos is so talented, so I was so excited that he was playing my husband. And I just thought, on top of the action, the comedy in their whole little world, their own little world with their children, and the ex-KGB aspect of their relationship, that they're on the run and look like this like very normal Midwestern family, was, I don't know, I hadn't read anything like that before, so I was so excited to get to play that. And on top of that, I've never done action and any sort of like stunt work before, or some stunt work on Empire, but like nothing like this. So I was super excited to like actually learn choreography and do stabbings and shootings, and it was awesome. So much fun.
Well, we just had Chris earlier today, so this is such a good movie. And yeah, I don't know, does Empire falling downstairs or out of a building count as stunt work, which is one of the most hardcore television deaths, I think.
I know, falling on that car, man, just like falling on the hood of a car.
Yeah, what a way to go. I mean, if there was a way to go, I don't know if I would choose that one specifically, or falling down a flight of stairs.
It's while pregnant, that's lovely too.
Yeah, but I digress. Well, This is such a good film, and I have been a huge fan of your work and all of the different projects that you've been a part of. But I think this one is fun in the sense of you get to play a different character, and we get to see a different side of your talent that you have. When you are presented with a role like this, or any of the roles that you've played, is there something that you look for, Kaitlin, as an actor and storyteller, that's important to you, that you say, okay, this is one thing that I would like to see? I would like to be a part of that whole thing when you're choosing something.
I mean, have I done anything like it before? Is this going to help me grow as an actress? Who are the people involved? Can I learn something from them? Is this a story that needs to be told? There's lots of things that go through your mind. And for this one, I was going to grow as an actress for sure, because even just I love comedy, and I have gotten very close on lots of big comedic projects, and I've never really done, been on a, sitcom or something like that. And I'm good at it and I like it. So I thought that creating this character, especially with somebody like Chris, and we had a lot of creative freedom. We played around with the lines, and we, definitely got to add our own spin to it. That was important to me. So I can play playing up the comedy of this couple, and also the stunt aspect, working with somebody like Olga, who's so good at what she does and has done tons of stunt work in her career. Being able to do those fight scenes opposite her was awesome, because she's a professional. She has done many movies like this, so I got to sort of make sure that I was ready to be on her level, which just push you in, sink or swim. So
yeah, and I would guess as an actor, you're always looking for something to challenge you and take you out of the box, perhaps.
Totally.
Outside of what you've maybe done in the past, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Something that will show you in a different light, because of course, we don't have control over what we get cast in. You know, there's a million projects that you could and should and whatever have done, but whatever, you know, whatever you get picked for is sort of out of your control. So when you have a project that you can say, oh, I wanted to show this part of my career or this part of my talent or this part of what my dream to, you know, my dream in my future as an actress would be. That this had a lot of that, you know, expanding what I haven't been able to show before.
Yes. Well, it's a lot of fun. So I'm very curious, when you go out for some of these roles and then you see them get cast later, first of all, the world that you're a part of is so different than what anybody could ever possibly imagine. And you look at them and go, okay, well, that makes sense. How do you deal with that as an actor and being able to move on and go, okay, well, that wasn't for me clearly, but then you land something awesome like this film and you go, okay, this solidifies me mentally and going, this is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, for a vocation.
Yeah, I think the only way to deal with it is to put it out of your mind. Like once the project is gone, it is gone. And the thing that helps with that is that there's always a new one waiting in your mailbox. You know what I mean? At like when you're heartbroken, you're like, oh God, I can't believe I didn't get that. You have to read a new script that night. And then your mind starts to wonder about that script. So there's, you know, when things are busy, you just kind of have to let go because there's something else that you need to sink your teeth into and try to learn, or an offer, or, you know, maybe there's a job that is waiting for you that you have to just like push everything out of your mind for. So I think that's the way that I describe it, because when things are slow, or like during COVID and you didn't have so many auditions, it was like each one you sat and thought about for so much longer. So like the heartbreak felt more intense. But usually, you know, you have to sort of move on and you didn't get that one, but you know, this audition is due on Monday, so figure it out. So I think that just the cycle of it, and you have to sort of mentally prepare yourself for lots and lots of rejection. And that's what, you know, in a weird way, it allows people liberty to do a lot of other things with their time and raise their kids and follow other passions because you're not working all the time. So it, you know, there's ups and downs to it. But I think that, you know, you get to do projects like this and then you're like, okay, you know, it's all worth it. You get to do something that is really fun and challenges you.
Yeah, well, fantastic work. And I think if I were to go back through my catalog during those 2 years, I think a lot of the conversation was, if you were new to the business and just came to Hollywood and tried to get started and then the pandemic hit, it would be almost to the point where some might go, well, I'm just going back home to Florida or wherever, you know, because it's already hard enough. One last question. Again, Kaitlin, great work on this. What was that first project for you that solidified for you that you knew this was what you were meant to do and this was it? I mean, I know it's always an ongoing thing, but is there one that made you go, okay, I'm here for this?
Yeah, I was signed with a really incredible agency that doesn't exist anymore when I was 15. And it was just kind of happenstance that they were even at my school. It was like pretty wild. And they immediately sent me on massive projects, like overnight. I was like, oh, okay, like cool. I'm going to audition for this Spielberg thing tomorrow. And then my first job was Catch Me If You Can, which I did while in high school. And so like being on that set, I was obsessed. Anybody my age was obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like hearing his voice walk in on the other side of the trailer, and Christopher Walken's right next to me. And then you see Spielberg walking down the hall, like, hey, you know, welcome. That was just like a pretty wild foray into the business. And of course I thought, oh, I'll never work again. I'll never get another job, but this is so cool. But that was when I decided I was supposed to go to New York for school, and I decided to stay in LA and try to pursue acting, like while I, you know, had my foot in the door. And yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah, that's such another fun role too. I mean, it's just like you've had so many highlights in your career. I imagine after you do that, you're probably like, Okay, yeah, the phone's going to be ringing every day now, because you had such a prevalent role in that film too. And I don't know, if I were in your position at that time and I went hot right out of the gate, I would be like, oh yeah, who's going to be calling
Yeah.
next,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I did a couple indie movies after that that went to Sundance, which was like an amazing experience, but it's just a grind. You have to be willing to stay with it in the years that you don't work so much, and on the TV shows you do that don't get picked up. So it's like staying in that mentally optimistic place, I think, is the hardest part of being a creative person in general, not just an actor, but like if you're a painter and your paintings don't sell for 2 years, like it's like believing that it's worth it to sort of struggle to be the creative that you are.
100%. High Heat in the theaters, on digital and on demand, December 16th. We've got lots of time now. Get your Christmas shopping done and watch this film with our guests that we've had: Chris Diamantopoulos, Kaitlin Doubleday, and of course, Don Johnson. This cast is top notch. And if you've never seen Empire, which you're missing out on that too, go back to the archives and you can watch Caitlin's character and all the other people on that great show. All the great work you've done, Kaitlin. Thanks for your time today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks for your time.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too.